Hey you, in today's video, I am talking about 7 must-know styling tips for looking longer and leaner when you are 5 foot, 5 inches tall, because yeah, that's my height. I gotta tell you, number 5 is unique. Maybe we'll just say special. Make sure you're subscribed and let's get started. Tip number 1 is more of a PSA, and that is if you're 5 foot 5, then you are only 1 inch taller than the official cutoff for petite sizing. Petite sizing ends at 5 foot 4, and so just by being an inch taller, that doesn't exclude you from shopping in the petite section. There could be some petite clothing that does fit you. It's a little bit more trial and error, but let's be honest, all clothing seems to be trial and error. And I was curious, so I Googled the average height of a woman in the US, and that is 5 foot 4. And yet that is technically petite, which is usually not the biggest section of a store. And yet what, isn't the average model between 5'7", 5'9"-ish? I don't know. But anyway, I feel like there's a whole rant kind of video behind there, but I'm not gonna get off track here. But anyway, being 5 foot 5 means you can shop both sections. You can shop the regular section, the regular sizing, and you can also shop petites. It's all hit and miss anyway. My second tip to looking longer and leaner is to know how your 5 foot 5 inch body is split up vertically. Your proportions mean everything. They affect how you and others perceive your body, especially when it comes to height and weight. So it's really important to know how your body is split up vertically, not just your body shape, apple, pear, rectangle, hourglass. Those are what I consider more horizontal body shapes. I am talking about your vertical body shape. So do you have a short torso or a long torso? Do you have short legs or long legs? Now, all of this is in proportion to your height. So you can still have short legs and be tall, or be short and have long legs. And remember, if you're relatively short in a particular area, then you might be able to shop in the petite section of that area. What's also important is your neck, and whether you have a long neck or a short neck, how your neck fits into all of that impacts how long you look, how lean you look. I have a short torso, and I do a lot of videos on how to style it and how to find out what kind of torso you have that I will have in the description box below. So tip number 3 to looking longer and leaner is to choose shorter pant lengths. Often you see this in short or inseam, 28, or sometimes I know with Lululemon it's inseam 25. And these are generally meant to appease more petite body types. But as we've already discussed, if you're 5'5", you're very close to petite. And I would much rather have my pants not bunching at the ankle, not bunching at the knee, that I don't always have to adjust the legs so that they kind of fit perfectly even though they're a bit long. If you want to look long and lean, you definitely don't want any bunching of the legs. I personally like a slight crop in my pant. I love a good ankle pant, but I've gone into that in other videos. Again, check out the description box below. The shorter lengths don't work all the time, but I encourage you to give it a try. Tip number 4 is to avoid large prints. These really can overwhelm your body, and they could actually end up making you a bit bigger than maybe you actually are. But on the reverse side, actually small prints can make you look giant as well. So you really want to pick a print that is proportional to your body. All right, it is time for tip number 5, which at the beginning I said was kind of special. Tip number 5 is to pay attention to your feet. Just like your neck plays into your proportions, your feet do exactly the same kind of at the other end. So surprisingly, I have a lot to say about this. First is your foot size. Now you can't control your foot size. Like we're not talking about how to control your foot size. But if you have smaller feet, then it could make you look taller. And if you have larger feet, then it could make you look shorter. I have somewhat larger feet, so welcome to the club. So when it comes to picking out what kinds of shoes you wear, you want to pick shoes that kind of play into the proportional sizing of your feet into your entire body. So if you have bigger feet like me, you want to pick shoes with clean lines, clean designs, and really simple styles. Versus if you have smaller feet, you can play around more with color and detailing and size. The styles can be a little bit louder, so you can play with those proportions in that way too. Like I've been saying, it's all about your proportions. So your shoe choice in your outfits will make you look longer and leaner if you know your foot size. And with that, don't forget about your ankles. Like I've gone over this in other videos, so I'm not going to dwell on it too much here. But your ankle is where your leg meets your foot. So depending on what proportional leg that you have and what proportional foot that you have, your ankle can determine whether you want your leg to appear longer or whether you want your foot to appear longer. Now, if I were smart, I would have put that one at the end to sort of encourage you to watch this whole video, which I've of course do, but I think these next two are really helpful and they're really easy to implement. So tip number 6 is to avoid full-length cardigans, coats, and dresses unless they are open in the front. And I understand, like with a dress, think of a high slit or a high-low dress. The reason I say this is because these pieces of clothing can really quickly overwhelm your frame, which will make you look shorter and not leaner. So the goal of this is to look longer and leaner, and so therefore don't choose really long and really unstructured pieces of fabric to go over your body. If they have belts or any other kind of structural details, then it might be a little bit different. But in general, super long things that are long front and back just don't look as good on our bodies. In my opinion, of course, all of this video is just my opinion. It is not meant to offend anyone. You're watching this because you're interested in my opinion. But without an open or a structural element like a belt, you sort of lose your proportions, and all the work that we've been doing throughout this video to get yourself proportionally longer and leaner, it kind of all goes down the drain if you're just one big piece of fabric front and back. All right, so for tip number 7, we have talked about your torso, your neck, your legs, your ankles, your feet. What's the one thing we haven't talked about? Your hair. Yes, your head plays into this, but hear me out. So for number 7, I would recommend that for 5'5" people, that your hair be no longer than bust length. And for those of you who don't know, because this came up in one of my TikTok videos where a lot of people asked what this meant, your bust is another word for your chest or bra length. And yes, I was a little surprised to get that question, but this is a safe space to ask whatever questions you need to. But as for exact hair length, it really does depend on your face shape, the proportion of your head to the rest of your body, as well as your neck. So I can't exactly recommend the perfect haircut. In fact, I don't think there is a perfect haircut for someone who's 5'5", but ultimately long hair can weigh you down, which could make you look shorter and even heavier. And to be clear, there is nothing wrong with that. I just know I get a lot of questions about looking longer and leaner and more proportionate in a lot of my videos. So I'm trying to answer them here. So please ask me more questions down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Bye.